in the bud. Nip it in the bud. You got to nip it in the bud. Nip it in the bud. You got to nip it in the bud. Nip it in the bud. You got to nip it in the bud. Nip it, nip it.
Hey there, everybody. Welcome to the PG and Barney Show. It is Tuesday, June the 8th. We are broadcasting live, 8:34 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Coming to you live from the Palatial Studios, 13 feet towering above South Mercer Street, broadcasting live from the 16125. Raphael, I see there that you have your eyes on me. Well, guess what? I've got my eyes on you. I've got my eyes on you, Raphael. What's going on? Welcome to the program. Folks, I need your help tonight because there have been some transforming things that have happened since about noon today. I knew that some of these things were in the work, but they then escalated on me pretty quickly. So typically we're broadcasting into the coffee shop. We're broadcasting live on YouTube, and we're broadcasting live on the Bethel Facebook page. And with my software here, I have the ability to shoot it in there all at the same time simultaneously. Working behind the scenes with Stephen Haywood from the Tech Buzz, we are going to make some adjustments so that I can broadcast to more than 3 locations. We're going to make it bigger and better than ever before. But until that happens, I'm going to need your help a little bit. So tonight we are not broadcasting live into the coffee shop, although it is there and you could be watching in the coffee shop, but you're not going to get the notification. So I put a message out a little while ago needing everybody to either transform their viewing habits to the Bethel main page, or preferably let's move it on over to YouTube. But here's the deal. Things are getting bigger and better than ever before, because today I've initiated an agreement with a new partner. It's called Integrity Television. They have 51 or 2 million subscribers. So right now, all of you guys that are watching on Integrity Television tonight, God bless you and welcome to the PG and Barney Show. It's an hour of interaction, news, fun, biblical viewpoints, and we rock it. So thank you for that. Be talking more about that later, but Integrity Television, welcome to the PG and Barney Show and all the subscribers there. That channel is available on Roku Internet TV. And it's called Integrity Television. I'll show you more about that later, and that will continue to grow. But we just had to get the ball rolling, so I had to make some real-time calls with the coffee shop this afternoon. But I see everyone coming over here. If a couple of you don't mind, some of you seasoned viewers, take a peek into the coffee shop and make sure there are no messages there asking where PG and Barney is, because he's right here. So, welcome to all of you. As you know, we are, I can't do it right now, Russell. That's what I told you. I got some pre-production going on. They're talking to me on different places. My head's going to explode. By Friday, it'll be ready. I'll just figure it out. There's like 93 things going through my brain right now. About 93 things going through my brain, but we're going to make it. Tracy Lotzenheiser Hooks, you got a notification from the coffee shop. Awesome. So big welcome to everybody. Hello to you all. We're going to continue to fine tune. It's going to get better and better. Carolyn Cabin, welcome to the program. Pamela Bowman checking in from great state of North Carolina. Rhonda Hodge, Ray Fell, Cindy Wanneberger, Jesse Conley, Amy Roudabush, and 12 others. Or is that Rodabush? Rodabush, one of those. Forgive me for whichever one is wrong. Jumped on at the same time. Rick Berry, God bless you. Annie Terry checking in. We got a special guest tonight coming up in a little while. All of this unfolded, so we had to move our interview and guest time with the North Carolina State Trooper to Friday night. So you guys be ready. Friday night is going to be our North Carolina State Trooper. Larry Gorley, welcome to the program. Thank you for that, sir. I appreciate that comment. Good old fashion news, just like your grandma used to watch. Are you calling me Walter Cronkite, Linda Cassio, Homers, Mike Fell? We all have our eyes on you. Ashley Mihalik, welcome to the program. Jesse Conley, you rock, dude. Julia Augustine dropping the hearts. Susan Anderson checking in from the Outer Banks of North Carolina. Ted Link, God bless you. Mary and Leonard Fireball, always anxious for Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. They're representing Roanoke, Virginia. I don't know how I'm remembering all this stuff, but I do. God bless you all. Barbara Rolfe checking in from Northeast Florida. Clappers are in the house. And it is going to be a great night. But you know how we start every time. Hello to you all. And I actually am a little thirsty.
Ladies and gentlemen, what you are about to witness is not only exciting and educational, but sometimes a bit risky as well. Do not try this at home. It's time for the beverage of the night.
So, folks, you know what's going on. We're working on scaling it down with PG. We've got a weight loss program going through the PG and Barney Show. And so you guys are providing to me good stuff, healthy stuff, and stuff just shows up on my desk all the time. Had a card on my desk today. Somebody out there dropped a North Carolina ID card of Deputy Barney Fife. Whoever did that, thank you. I don't know. You have to put your name on this. Also, who would ever deliver to me a scale it down bottle of water? A scale it down bottle of water? I know we're working on the weight loss together, but at least put your name on it. I want to say thank you. I know you're going to be sending me that komchutka and all that nasty stuff, but we're scaling it down. So, folks, I don't even have Pepsi or anything. I've got water. Folks, awesome. Water is wonderful. It's good for what ails you. Welcome, everybody. It is time to roll. Ba-boom. You know that Barney is in the house and ready to have a good time. He is cranked up. He's whispered in my ear, and we're going to have all that stuff to talk about tonight. Kerry Dyer Sr., welcome to the program. Nevada in the house. Judy Roberts giving us the big LOL, and I will be working on the water during the program. God bless all of you. Folks, as you can see in the screen over my left shoulder, this is the company that I connected with today. It is called Integrity Television, wholesome broadcasting for the entire family. They're connected with all different outlets, different classical TV things, movie things, but we have moved into an agreement to roll the PG and Barney. Probably going to have to make some adjustments on that in the future. Barney's not going anywhere. He'll always be my sidekick, but I may have to make some copyright adjustments now, change the name to something, maybe my YouTube channel, Greg Terry Experience. I don't know, but it's going to be live on Friday nights at 8:30, and then they're pumping it in on a little delay right after Flashpoint on Tuesday nights. So thank you to Integrity Television. Our future is going to be really bright. As they said in the production meeting today, slide over, Sean Hannity. Integrity Television and Barney Fife is coming after you, folks. So I'm very thankful that God bless all of you. You'll be hearing more about that. And remember, we're a part of that together, because when you are sharing, when you are liking, we are increasing the viewership. So praise the Lord for all of that. And Sally Chenault, I see you watching. It is time to get going. Folks, tonight, the first thing we want to start with, and we've got quite a bit of things to go over, is right here. Did you know this morning while you were asleep, maybe you were awake, I'm not really sure, the internet crashed. The internet went down fastly, which I'm going to explain to you, and maybe many of you saw this and said, what's going on? The internet went out. It's the end of the world. Jesus is coming. No, well, he is coming at some point. It's imminent, but he didn't come today. We're still here. He could come before the show is over. Make sure that you know him. But Fastly is a company, one of three main companies that operates in the world as kind of like a hub system. I want you to imagine with me for a moment a plumbing system all around the world. And all throughout that plumbing system, every 100 miles, there is a pressure booster. Now, I'm not a plumber, but pipes and pressure boosters. That's what Fastly is. They have a network of servers, boosters all around the world, all connected together to make the internet or the interweb. Now, you need to remember it was actually Al Gore that invented the internet. So there you go, Fred Callahan. I am enlightening you, in case you didn't know it, that Al Gore invented the internet, of which that really didn't happen. But Fastly is the company, one of three main ones, that makes it work. What they do is they offload internet data to all these servers around the world. Take a look at that picture right there. That's a good image of what it looks like. And this morning, they had some failures. So as a result of that, Amazon, you couldn't shop. Reddit was not working. Google went down. Instagram went down. Twitter went down. The United Kingdom government sites went down. Now, I'm sure many people were screaming and yelling, oh my goodness, the end is upon us. I wasn't, because I was asleep at 6 a.m. But the reality is this company had a failure. Now, one of the things that's very important to understand about this is completely logical. Look how fragile our connectivity is. How fragile. In just 1 millisecond, Fastly can go down and the internet goes down. And you may say, okay, well, I'm out in the country. I'm not really worried about doing that, or I check my email sometime, or I log into PG and Barney, but I'm not so necessary that the internet is always there. But folks, a lot of industry, a lot of people's jobs, maybe this morning you at 6 a.m. had scheduled to get up and pay your bills online. You were probably not able to. In just a moment, these things can happen. We've seen ransomware attacks with cybersecurity in our country. It's a dangerous problem. And in just 1 moment, the internet can be gone. So bottom line is, this may look stable, solid, firm. And you know, when Haywood's behind the scenes building all this stuff for me and helping me, everything here is hardwired. There's no wireless, nothing. Everything's hardwired. But at a moment's notice, this stuff can go down, and that is what happened this morning. In the coronavirus front, COVID-19 in America, folks' opinions are adjusting. I had to make a trip yesterday to the state of Virginia. My father and I did, and I will be talking more about that towards the end of the program. I have a special tribute that I want to do tonight. But the perception and what is going on among Americans is adjusting. An Axios Ipsos poll made a comparison between March and June. 39% in March said there was small or no risk to return to pre-COVID life, opposed to 69% of Americans that are saying, we're good, we're safe, let's roll. 39% of Americans went out to eat at the beginning of March. 61% went out the first week of June. And 44% first week of March visited relatives or friends versus 66% that have visited friends and family the first week of June. So things are, as we've talked about, returning to normal. We are seeing light at the end of the tunnel. Now, of course, there will never be a return to normal. It's a new normal. We're in a new day. We're in a new world. Ministry has adjusted. Life has adjusted. Informational being disseminated has adjusted. It's never going to change. It's never going back. But folks being able to go to eat, enjoy their families, go to stores without masks on. These things are happening right in front of us, and we are thankful for that. Yes, we lost many friends and family, and very sad about that. We've all been touched by coronavirus, but with that said, praise be to the Lord, we are starting to return to normal. On the financial fronts, I found something very interesting today. U.S. job openings jump to a fresh record high of 9.3 million. Folks, yesterday, my father and I drove about 900 miles round trip. We left at 2:30 in the morning, Monday morning. Talk more about that in a moment. Got back late last night, and I can remember on that trip, which was just yesterday, driving by businesses, and everywhere we would go, in the sign was help wanted, help needed, somebody please work. Or we went to some places and they could not even be open because they did not have enough workers. Now, here's interesting. I pulled some statistics for us. Look at this. In April 2021, 2.7% of the workforce quit their jobs. This is April 2021, really before we turned the corner with the coronavirus in America in late April, May, and June. 2.7% of the workforce quit their jobs. Why? Because of stimulus in place, because of not wanting to work, because of extended unemployment benefits. This percentage of people that quit their jobs or they felt confident they could find another job happened in the month of April. When you do the math, America has about 150 million people in the labor force, and 2.7% of 150 million is pretty accurate. It's 148 million total, 2.7%. So in May 2021, we got a great jobs report. Exactly, Larry Gorley. Let me, come on, Larry Gorley. Are you rolling with me tonight? 9.3 million opens and 36 people applying for these positions. LOL. It's the truth. People aren't applying for work. Businesses are having to raise their wages to try to entice people, signing bonuses, et cetera, et cetera. May 2021, 559,000 new jobs on the jobs report, but the bottom line is nobody's going to work. Lots of folks. So those numbers are inaccurate. So we come to the place of June 2021. That's today, folks. There are 9.3 million job openings in America. This is on the edge of becoming a very, very serious problem. Today, folks, I lost my mind when prepping for the show. New York Times and MSNBC's Mara Gay, that's her name, she said it was disturbing in an interview to see dozens of American flags on trucks in Long Island. And of course, members of the squad, AOC, Tlaib, and whoever else is in that crew, started piling on and agreeing. But instantly, many prominent black African-American voices went after Mara Gay for playing a race card. She was comparing the use of flags to Trumpism and anti-Bidenism. And here in this program, especially for those of you joining us for the first time on Integrity Television, we are a Bible-believing program, but we look at the facts, we look at the truth, we try to uncover what's going on in America and around the world. We look at the right, we look at the left, we look at the middle, and somewhere we find the truth. So instantly, many African-American came right back aggressively at Mara Gay for playing the race card amid backlash over her American flag comments. There at the bottom, you see a comment. Let me give you a little look there from Theo Terrell. This is a civil rights attorney out of Los Angeles. Wonderful man. He came after her aggressively and says, ma'am, you don't have any clue what you're talking about in regard to racism in America. I've been fighting for civil rights for years, and you are completely off base. We are Americans, and flying the flag is the way it is supposed to be. Folks, I want you to hear just a little bit of her interview. You're not going to believe this. Buckle your seatbelts and turn the volume up. This is bonkers.
I think as long as they see Americanness as the same as one with whiteness, this is going to continue. We have to figure out how to get every American a place at the table in this democracy, but how to separate Americanness, America, from whiteness. Until we can confront that and talk about that, this is really going to continue. I was on Long Island this weekend visiting a really dear friend, and I was really disturbed. I saw, dozens and dozens of pickup trucks with, explicatives against Joe Biden on the back of them, Trump flags, and some cases just dozens of American flags, which is also just disturbing because essentially the message was clear. It was, this is my country. This is not your country. I own this. And so until we're ready to have that conversation, this is going to continue.
Excuse me? And you actually have a job for the New York Times and MSNBC as an educated commentator? Excuse me, flying flags in a truck is anti-American and racist. That's not the America. You don't have ownership in America. No, you are a socialist who wants the government to own everything, and you want to put everybody on the same playing field and make a system of lemmings. Lady, if you do not like America, then you can go pack your suitcase, get on an airplane. I will take an offering right here in the PG and Barney Show. In fact, we will not fly you in economy, but we will buy a first class ticket. Let me see, where do I want to send you tonight? Let me send you to Karachi, Pakistan. We will buy you a first class one-way ticket. If you think flying American flags on trucks is racism, if you think it's anti-American to have ownership in our country and the things we hold to be so wonderful, then get out of this country. We'll pay your way. Bill and Kathy Jones, welcome to the program. Rick Barry, we know it's on MSNBC. We know it's New York Times, but the message is unacceptable. It is unacceptable. And that is why so many African Americans came out today Leo Terrell being the main one saying, get out of here, lady. You have no idea what you're talking about with your socialist rants and what you think is racism. Thankful for people like Leo Terrell. Let me show you Leo here. He is quite the gentleman right there over my shoulder. Leo Terrell, prolific American civil rights attorney, talk radio host based in Los Angeles. He recently became a Fox News contributor, appears on Hannity and other shows. He actually, in the 90s or the 2000s, was an attorney representing voting lines for Asian Americans. He cares about everybody. He is a good dude. And lady, we will buy you a ticket out of here and pack your bags and wave to you as you go. God bless you, Mary Gay. You need Jesus and you need reality. You know, we have some interesting things coming this weekend, potentially, in the nation of Israel. We know as believers that we are instructed through the word of God. We are instructed to pray for the peace of Jerusalem. Right now, currently, Israel is having some pretty serious political instability. They are battling over the role of prime minister. And of course, it's been Benjamin Netanyahu for 13 years. But these coalitions have formed in Israel to try to oust Benjamin Netanyahu. They view him out of touch. They view him being sometimes too American. They view him with having problems in his past, et cetera, et cetera. I think Benjamin Netanyahu overall has done a pretty good job, especially standing up for the wonderful people of Israel that we stand with. So this weekend, there will be a vote of confidence, and there will be a vote to see if this coalition of parties can get enough seats and enough votes to overthrow, and I mean that in a voting way, Benjamin Netanyahu and move him out of the office of prime minister. We absolutely will be watching that. And if a new prime minister comes in or a shared position, we'll of course be looking at those guys and checking them out because it's vital. We are instructed to pray for the peace of Israel, and they are our partners. We'll be watching it. I'll keep you updated. Folks, our border problem is not going away. Bruce Lozier. I vote to send her to North Korea. Oh, look, I think it would be better to send her to one of the socialist utopias like, say, Venezuela. She's going somewhere. I think you guys are already sending money to my PayPal so we can buy her a ticket out of here. Folks, the border is a disaster. We know what's going on. This portfolio was assigned to the press secretary, Kamala Harris. You know, listen, for those of you joining on Integrity Television tonight, God bless you. I have all these running jokes. This program has been going for quite a while. Of course, Kamala Harris is the vice president. Biden's the president. I know there's all kind of theories, conspiracies, all that jazz. But we have President Biden, we have Vice President Harris, and we have Press Secretary Psaki. But the way I see things, really, Jen Psaki speaks more than anybody, talks out of ownership, talks out of authority. So I've moved her to vice president, and I've moved Kamala Harris to press secretary. And President Biden is a man desperately in need of a healing touch, body, soul, and spirit from Jesus. But today, Kamala Harris received increased pressure. Now, not from just the Republicans or conservatives, but from Democrats to visit the U.S.-Mexico border. Kamala Harris has been in Guatemala and Mexico meeting with their leaders about our border issues in the United States. Now, we know that follows up last week. She was meeting with the president of South Korea. shaking his hand and then wiping her hand off, ultimate disrespect, and then discussing with him, the president of South Korea, our border issue problems on our southern border. I don't think we have a big issue with South Koreans coming through Mexico. I just don't see that happening too much. But she discussed it with him. Now she was in Guatemala and Mexico discussing the root sources of the problem. Now, the squad, I don't even like giving them airtime, but AOC and her crew blast Kamala Harris because Kamala Harris did go to Guatemala. I'm going to be fair. And she told the Guatemalans, do not come. Now, she was telling them do not come because of the pressure that was upon her. She had to make some political statements that looked right in the eyes of you and I. But the left didn't like it at all because they believe in an open border. They believe that you can just come to the border and just wait or come across and we will dissolve you into our American system and way of life. Senator Cruz, Biden and Harris covering up border crisis by staying away. I believe it is absolutely spot on. Instead of visiting the border, let's just go to Guatemala or let's go to Mexico. Why do these things happen? Because the longer we stay away from the border, the longer we keep from telling the truth about the border, the better off we are, because then people are not able as Americans to see the truth of what is going on at our border. Let me tell you how bad this is getting. And I'm going to show this, and I have zero respect for what you're getting ready to watch, but Lester Holt of NBC was just talking with Vice President Harris. And folks, let me show you what unfolded.
Do you have any plans to visit the border?
At some point, we are going to the border. We've been to the border. So this whole thing about the border, we've been to the border. We've been to the border.
You haven't been to the border.
And I haven't been to Europe. And I don't understand the point that you're making.
Why not visit the border? Why not see what Americans are seeing in this crisis?
Well, we are going to the border. We have to deal with what's happening at the border. There's no question about that. That's not a debatable point. But we have to understand that there's a reason people are arriving at our border.
And I haven't been to the moon. Ronald Leon Vandevander, you are spot on, because it means she has to do something because she has fear, not faith. She's scared. I absolutely agree with that statement 100%. Folks, this laughing is so disrespectful to our country. I mean, God bless you, Kamala Harris. You need Jesus. But you are so far out of your league. I would love to get just a 5-minute debate with you. In fact, I have to say, big kudos there for you, Lester Holt, for calling her out on it. So you've not been to the border? Well, we have been to the border. No, you've not been to the border, he said. Well, I've not been to Europe either. What does Europe have to do with anything? And then the little fake laugh. Listen, I don't ever go personal, disrespectful, I'm always trying to be honoring, still the official of our country, but it is complete incompetence. It is fear. It is, I am out of my comfort zone. I am unqualified. So I will just laugh. This is a disaster for America. And I'm telling you, the foreign policy that is coming out of Washington is going to be a disaster, and it is going to be a problem for us. Now, folks, I want to enlighten you on something. I did some research today, and I want to show you something very, very cool. You see, I got to find my map here. Let me roll this over for you on a desktop. Here we have the United States. We've got the border with Mexico. We've got the triangle, supposedly, of the problem, which is Guatemala, El Salvador, and Honduras. But the reality is, folks, this border problem that we are having is connected to two issues. It is connected to two issues. Number one, human trafficking. Number two, drug cartels. And then you can just pile on top of that incompetence to deal with our border, stopping building the wall, calling that unhuman. You know, we're building a wall. No, we're having strong borders. That is a biblical principle, to have borders. That doesn't mean you don't care about people. That doesn't mean you do not go to the nations. That does not mean there is not a legal process for immigration to come and become a part of our great melting pot, the United States of America. But illegal entry, human trafficking, and drug trafficking through cartels is the problem, and it must be stopped. So what I have discovered, and I was already reading about this, and then I found this CBN video, but the border problem is actually starting in Colombia. I want to show you this little town here. Come right here with me. And I'm sorry, I've got one camera out of space, but I had so much production to do today, it was crazy. So sorry for some of the sound paneling there, but we'll get it cleaned up. Right there, Capurganá. It is on the Colombian and the Panamanian border. This is where folks are being trafficked to. Now listen to me, from all over the world. All over the world. They're coming to Colombia, and then they are transported through Panama through what is called moles. They are paying to get to the American border so that they can cross illegally and hope to be able to stay in America. AOC's big argument was, we spend all this money to help the infrastructure, and then when they come to America, we turn them away to go back to that infrastructure. Her argument is illogical. If we are investing to help countries, then folks need to stay in their countries to work together to make it better. The problem is there is big money at play here. Colombia, even with all of their problems, is the #1 trade partner with the United States in South America. Listen, Colombia is the #1 trade partner with the United States. There are some very dark things going on that is allowing this to take place, and it comes down to human trafficking. It comes down to money. It comes down to drugs. I'm looking forward on Friday night. Some of our conversations with our North Carolina State Trooper in our interview is going to be cool. We're going to be talking a little bit about human trafficking. So I discovered this video. I want you to see it. It will give you some great enlightenment as to what is really going on at our southern border, of which our vice president is just laughing about.
Every day, boats arrive here in the tiny Colombian border town of Capurganá. But these aren't tourists. They're migrants from all across the globe.
Most of them are from Africa, Pakistan, India, and Haiti, and some Cubans. It's a humanitarian crisis.
What should be an out-of-the-way fishing village has become the last off-ramp on a human trafficking highway that plunges right through the forbidding Darien Gap. These migrants aren't customers, they're products. And their desire to make it to the U.S. means big profits for the smugglers who send them into the jungle.
You know, I don't like to talk too loudly around here, but basically that's what they do. They pay the young kids here to be the mules. They take them over the mountains or through the, to the San Blas.
But there's another commodity here that's even more profitable: cocaine. This country has always been the #1 exporter of this illicit drug, but the amount being grown in Colombia today is near an all-time high.
With President Uribe, we got as small as 40,000 hectares. With President Santos, who sold to the world that he was the peacemaker, we get into 300,000 hectares.
Eradication efforts haven't been as effective in recent years due to concerns about the health risks of spraying coca fields from the air. So Colombia has had to resort to methods which are less effective and much more dangerous.
We have 16 soldiers, policemen, and eradicators killed by mines because the guerrilla put mines everywhere around.
So I wanted to try and track this group of migrants we watched go into the Darien Gap on the Colombian side when they came out the other end. So I took a quick flight to Panama, and now I'm driving down to the Darien Gap on this side to try to meet them. And I think I figured out how these drug runners are taking advantage of the flow of migrants to move their product north. What they do is get local Colombian guys to put on backpacks full of cocaine, and then they salt them in with the migrants. That's because the migrants are getting preferential treatment from immigration officials at the border. See, the border's actually closed, but Colombian immigration officials told me they're being instructed to look the other way when the migrants come through. And so in that way, these guys can get their drugs north without being stopped at the border.
I made it to the camp where the migrants were being kept, but wasn't allowed to enter because of COVID restrictions. I did manage to get through on the phone to a 16-year-old Haitian migrant named Madesi.
Many people died. One woman drowned and 2 other men lost their wives. Many people died.
In all, 12 of the 70 or so migrants we witnessed at the start of their journey did not survive, including this 10-month-old baby who succumbed to dysentery. In addition, Madesi told me the entire group was robbed at gunpoint, and at least a dozen women were raped by cartel members. But the migrants keep coming. Locals say the number is up 4-fold in the last 2 months. The flow of cocaine is keeping pace as well. Panama seized more than 1.5 tons a week for the past year. But while the cartels have to evade authorities to move their drugs, the flow of people is much easier, because the migrants get support from local governments as they transit Central America. Victor Avila is a former ICE agent.
The cartels have taken over. We used to have the human traffickers and the human smugglers and the drug traffickers. That no longer exists. It's now all the cartels. You will encounter the cartels. You will have to pay the piso, the plaza, the quota to them, whether you're going to turn yourself in or not. These people are paying $3,500, $4,000 a head to even turn themselves in to seek asylum.
So whether it's Haitians or heroin, Cubans or cocaine, the narcos are getting rich either way. From Panama, I'm Chuck Holton for CBN News.
And folks, there you have it. That gives you a good overview tonight of what is actually happening. You know, we just think when we don't look a little deeper that down there in Texas or California, Arizona, New Mexico, that there's just people from like an adjoining town there, like Ciudad Juarez is close to El Paso, Texas. And these folks are just trying to get across the border. But honestly, that's nothing. This is a human trafficking. This is a drug deal coming through Colombia. What a great job of investigative journalism there by the CBN journalist. And I was happy to be able to share it with you, but it paints the real picture. This is government. This is money. This is conspiracies. This is people paying people off. This is border guards turning their heads the other ways. This is a real disaster, and it's not just an American issue, but it is a global issue. And when we look at something and we see a little girl, 10 months old dying from dysentery because she's being trafficked or trying to buy her family, buy her way through a terrible process for the hope of a better life. Folks, this is a humanitarian crisis. Now, very direct on what we believe. We believe in biblical borders. We believe in walls. Israel would build walls. They would fortify themselves. But folks, that doesn't mean you do not care about people. That doesn't mean that our hearts are still not compassionate. That doesn't mean that we are not instructed according to the word of God to reach out, to share the gospel, to share the love of Christ, to be light shining in darkness. Of course we are. But the evil must be gone. So when I talk about that and show you the reality of what is going on, I want you to know we're also putting our money where our mouth is. And folks, we are now rolling on Integrity Television. Thank you there, Russell James. Welcome to all the Integrity Television viewers tonight. God bless you. I'm telling you, this thing will get kicking. We welcome you. So folks, in believing about all of that, caring about all of that, I have a special guest tonight. Our state trooper's coming on Friday because I had to make room for the guest tonight. So let me see if I can get this guest to appear. Come on. Come on. Where's my guest at? Where is my guest at? Annie J. Annie J. Come on up in here. Do you hear Dad?
Yep.
How are you doing?
Good.
Annie's doing good. Annie, where are you getting ready to go?
Mission trip.
You're getting ready to go to a mission trip. When? Talking to the mic good, honey.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow? Where are you going?
Well, first Oklahoma.
We're going to Oklahoma.
For a few weeks.
Okay, for a few weeks.
And then I go to Mexico and Peru and Hungary.
Wait a second. We're sitting here talking about the border problems, human trafficking, securing our country, but you're still going to go on a mission trip to Mexico?
Yes.
Why?
To help people.
To help people. Who are we going to be helping?
The Mexicans.
Are Mexicans. Okay. And then from Mexico, where are you going?
I think Peru.
Peru. Going to go minister to the Peruvians. So we're going to be in Mexico, and look in the camera right there. And then we're going to be in Peru. How's your Spanish?
It's pretty good.
Spanish is pretty good. And then we're not going to stop there because we care about people. Where are you going after Peru?
Hungary.
You're hungry?
No, to Hungary.
Oh, you're going to Hungary. She's not hungry. You're going to Hungary. Where's that at? What continent?
Europe.
Europe. Yes, we got it. She's going to Hungary. Do they speak Spanish in Hungary?
And I speak Hungarian?
Hungarian. How are you going to be able to communicate to them?
I have no idea.
Translators.
Yes.
So we're going to share the love of Christ. So even though we're talking about strong borders, we're talking about taking care of America, we still put our money where our mouth is. We love people. We love the nations. And we love them so much that we want to go and be salt and light. And let me tell you guys how much Annie wanted to do this. Now, typically when you're doing a missions trip as a 19-year-old, you send out support letters, or, I could have said something in the church, or Pastor Kent could have said something in the church, and many of you would have donated or, tried to help her pay for the trip. We chose not to do that. Why? Because Annie wanted to pay for her trip herself. And did you do it?
All my own money.
All your own money. How much did it cost you?
$4,700, but not including my own flight down and my own flight back.
Well, Poppy and Dad helped with that. Yeah. So basically $5,000.
Yeah.
And you paid for it?
Yes.
Why?
Because
Talk loud.
I don't know.
Just care about people?
Yeah, and I want it to be, it's like I'm going on a mission trip and I want it to be with my money because it's my choice.
You wanted to invest in it?
Yes.
Well, there you have it, folks. So listen, she's 19 years old. So do not ever tell me that we do not care about people. We absolutely care about people and we love people. Annie, look behind me there. You disconnected my monitor system. It's by accident, but we're all good. This is live and rocking and rolling. Folks, that is what it's all about, and we're very, very thankful to that. So you guys remember Annie in your prayers. She will be heading out tomorrow for her mission trip, and it's going to be awesome. Folks, for the last 6 minutes of the program tonight, I would like to turn my attention to somebody very special. Yesterday, which would have been, like Sunday night, but Monday morning, 2:30 a.m., my father and I, we jumped into my car and we headed down to Buckingham, Virginia. You may not know where Buckingham, Virginia is, but I will tell you where it is. It's just outside of Lynchburg, where, of course, Liberty University is. Folks, I would like to take a little time tonight to give a tribute to my cousin, Buddy Lee Hackett. Buddy Lee Hackett was born in 1951. He passed away last week, 2021. But there's a reason I'm going to take a couple of minutes tonight to give honor to his life. It seems like we have done this many times over the past year. But my cousin Buddy was the most Christian man I've ever known in my entire life. I can honestly say, after spending hours hunting and doing all these things together that cousins do, that I never heard that man say one bad word about anybody. Not one person. In 1980, Buddy was a lumberjack. He was hit by a falling tree, and he was paralyzed from right above his waist all the way down. He was a paraplegic from 1980 until he passed away on June the 4th, 2021, living his days out in a wheelchair. But that didn't stop Buddy. If you look at some of the pictures here, he was a legend. Buddy here, working in his saw shop with the family's business, taking engines apart. He was a genius with small engine repair. You can see him on the dock there, fishing. He loved to fish and hunt. On the bottom left, he's playing with his granddaughter, blowing into her mask. The bottom right is just a beautiful picture of him at the river at church. And in the picture in the bottom there, I come from a family of a lot of rednecks. And in the bottom picture there, you have Buddy, his grandson, and Tommy Moore. And I want you to know something. Buddy and Tommy had kind of, as I understood, been talking, and Buddy wanted Tommy to sing at his funeral whenever that would happen. And the problem was Tommy passed away first. But here's the good news. Tommy wanted to sing at his own funeral. These are my cousins. So he had a recording of him singing at his own funeral. And through that recording, Tommy was able to sing at Buddy's funeral. When you look at people and you see in a wheelchair, 40 years, needed help to get through life. It took him 3 hours to get dressed just to go to church or to go hunting. And I can remember many times us going hunting together, and the cousins are running the dogs, and I'm over Buddy's house and we're lacing up his boots, and the dogs are running and everything is cooking. And Buddy says, don't worry about it. I've got the key to the gate. We're going behind the fence where nobody else can go, and we're going to get the deer. He always had that kind of viewpoint. Man of God, loved God, shared his faith. There was nobody like Buddy Lee Hackett. When I think about that, it brings me to a verse of Scripture that I want to do tonight in honor of Buddy. Scripture says in the New International Version, be very careful then how you live. Not as unwise, but as wise, making the most of every opportunity, because the days are evil. Therefore not be foolish, but understand what the Lord's will is. Folks, if I had to say anything about that tonight, that's Buddy Lee Hackett. My dad preaches a sermon. I've stolen it a little bit. But if you look there on the pictures that I made for Buddy, born March the 3rd, 1951, passed away June the 4th, 2021. We had an incredible celebration for him yesterday down in Virginia. But the important thing about that picture right there, and hello to you, Damon Mayo, is that dash in between March the 3rd, 1951 and June 4th, 2021. Whether you're in a wheelchair or whatever life hands you, it's not what is important on that birth date or that day that you pass away. What is important is what you did during the dash. My dear friends, live the dash. Make every day the best. Share the love of Christ. Share the truth of God's word. Stand firm for the things that make America great. Jesus is with you. He'll never leave you nor forsake you. Live the dash, just like Buddy Lee Hackett did. We love you guys. Buddy Hackett, see you in heaven someday. Look forward to it, my cousin. God bless you forever and all the family. You guys live the dash. May the Lord bless you, keep you, cause his face to shine upon you, be gracious to you, and may you walk in more peace than you can possibly handle. God bless you. Good night. See you tomorrow night in worship and Friday night, PG and Barney. And to all the new family members that are joining us on Integrity Television, we love you. God bless you. Get ready to rock and roll.